most welcome to Historiespanarna, History Reconnaissance. This is the United States Army Air Force in 1944. The footage is compiled from the film AAF Report. Additional images and texts are added. And please, like and subscribe, it means a lot to us.
This is a global war. To understand the extent of our air operation, we must take a global point of view. You're looking at the world spread out from the North Pole. Today we have 15 air forces, all joined together by the network of the Air Transport Command. 110,000 miles of regularly scheduled routes, 4.5 times around the world. Over these routes, the ATC ferries planes from factory to front. It transports key personnel and delivers supplies at the rate of 10 million miles a month. It will take anywhere, anything that can possibly fit into a plane. Once it delivered to Alaska, a complete hospital in 36 hours. It flew a shipment of grenades from the United States to Guadalcanal in 4 days, when our men needed them desperately. The little extra that can turn the tide of battle. This is the daily mission of the Air Transport Command. Another vital command is the Air Service Command. They are the boys without whom the planes would never leave the ground. To service the planes, repair shops and warehouses have been established, such as this one in England. These warehouses stock 4 times as many items as there are in a Sears Roebuck catalog. The Service Command has become the biggest export business in the world, delivering in huge quantities. This damaged fortress, Stella, is typical of the planes that come back from a mission badly in need of the Air Service Command. For 3 of Stella's motors were dead. The 4th managed to get her back to England, but she ended up in a meadow. Stella was a mess until a mobile machine shop arrived. A temporary repair depot was set up and the boys of the Air Service Command went to work. After a few days, it began to look as though Stella might use a runway again, so bulldozers were moved in. A few new parts, a few more days, and she flew again, ready to fight again. Thanks to the Air Service Command. Women, too, are trained to do their share. Our women pilots, the WASPs, deliver planes to home bases and perform tasks such as towing target sleeves for gunnery practice. Our air WACs have been trained for jobs in many phases of the service. Out of bombs and ammunition, these battered early model fortresses headed for Australia, evading the swift Japanese expansion over the islands of the Pacific. This was the beginning of our 5th Air Force. The 5th is a self-made Air Force. At the start, it had to improvise with whatever facilities happened to be available in the area. Nevertheless, within 3 months, it had joined the Navy in the Battle of the Coral Sea. helping to sink 19 enemy vessels. Some months later, a B-24 on reconnaissance located a column of Japanese warships moving through the Bismarck Sea toward New Guinea. This was the fifth big chance. Every available plane was sent into action. For 3 days, 162 American and Australian planes bombed and strafed the Jap fleet. Many of our flyers came in at mast-high altitude to skip bomb the enemy. At a cost of only 6 of our planes and 13 of our men. This marked the limit of Japanese expansion. The 5th proceeded to take the offensive against the enemy's formidable system of interlocking bases. Japanese pressure had been concentrated on Port Moresby. We countered swiftly. Our Troop Carrier Command flew 15,000 men across the Owen Stanley Range in one air movement. Then kept them supplied with more than 2 million pounds of food and equipment a week. Guns were moved in, and the wounded evacuated on the return trips. Following the spearhead came the engineers. Sometimes they had equipment, sometimes they improvised. Whatever their tools, they built airstrips out of the jungle in record time. From advanced bases on the Gilberts, the 7th put into combat a new weapon. In addition to its deadly 50 caliber machine guns, this B-25G was equipped with a 75 millimeter cannon. Our flyers can expect any trip to develop into a major air battle. At a dozen scattered airfields, the bombers are assembled and moved to the starting lines. Takeoff time. And the imposing forts and liberators thunder into the gray English dawn. They take off on split-second schedule, but war in the air is so swift that a few moments' error may mean a missed rendezvous. The fighter fields, thunderbolts are ready. They set out to meet the bombers, followed by twin-engine lightnings. The two groups make rendezvous over the English Channel. And with the fighters patrolling the skies around the bomber formation, the Air Armada moves into enemy territory. News of the approaching air invasion is flashed through the German warning system. Coastal anti-aircraft batteries fill the skies with high explosives. Alarm sirens wail over the German fighter fields and pilots sprint to their planes. In a few minutes, deadly Focke-Wulfs and Me-109s are on their way to challenge our men and planes. Our fighters peel off to meet the enemy threat, and the battle is on. The enemy interceptors are blasted out of the battle zone. Despite opposition, the bombers push on deeper into enemy territory, their progress mapped by vapor trails. In formation, the bombers can lay down a deadly pattern of protective fire. Nevertheless, the enemy fighter attacks, plus the anti-aircraft barrage, take their toll. Our planes begin to show damage. Some drop behind. Above the battle, the enemy commander locates the stragglers. His fighters close into the kill. This is called the big lead. Look at the battle from the German angle, through German cameras, and see why. The main body of our formation closes in on the target. The enemy has never succeeded in making an American mission turn back before completing its task. Despite the threat of sudden, violent death, our flyers stick to their jobs until the bombs are away. Until the target is destroyed. Because of recent developments, the 12th has moved its headquarters to Italy. The 9th is in England for current operations. And our newest Air Force, the 15th, has moved into Africa. With this distribution of air forces, tactical coverage can be provided for any presently contemplated land operation. From its bases in Africa and Italy, the 15th can carry out strategic bombing over the whole of southern Europe. While from England, the 8th can plaster northern Europe. Together, they cover Hitler's entire fortress. There is no corner of his stronghold that cannot be reached by the crippling blows of strategic bombing. We've struck at the enemy's defenses from every side. We've had some success, but Japan is still far away.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.